Nashville, Tennessee. The average margin of victory in Kentucky's 3 SEC wins before this weekend was 6.3 points per game. But the Wildcats, who have become known for nail-biting finishes, rolled to a 44-21 win at Vanderbilt on Saturday. It was Kentucky's most dominant conference win since Mark Stoops arrived in Lexington. The Cats fell behind 7-0, but then scored 34 unanswered points in a road stadium painted in blue. Kentucky, 7-3, 4-3 SEC, has won 7 of its last 12 SEC games, the program's best conference stretch since the 1998-99 seasons. Here's how we graded the performance. Offense, A. It's not a bad day for the offense when your starting running back breaks the school record for rushing touchdowns. Snell found the end zone 3 times to pass Sonny Collins and Mo Williams on the all-time rushing touchdowns list at Kentucky. Snell carried 17 times for 116 yards, a nice 6.8 yards per attempt. The sophomore scored 3 touchdowns and now has 9 touchdowns in Kentucky's last 3 games. As we said from day one when we recruited him, and when he came in here, the first thing we looked at with him is what you see is the toughness, is that attitude, is a strong, physical runner, Stoops said of Snell. But the maturity to be able to do these things, we needed that in that room. We still need it, and I appreciate him and what he's done. Related, Snell's record day comes with reminder that he's just a sophomore. And it wasn't just Snell in the run game. Junior Saheem King had 15 carries for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. The running back duo accounted for all 5 of Kentucky's touchdowns. Steven Johnson was quietly efficient. He didn't have to do much given how effective the ground game was, but Johnson was 13 of 17 passing for 195 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, but more importantly, he didn't throw an interception. The UK quarterback also picked up 44 rushing yards on 9 attempts. Senior Garrett Johnson led Kentucky with 6 receptions for 76 yards, but it was freshman Lynn Bowden's breakout performance that stood out. Bowden had 3 catches for 79 yards, averaging 26 yards per catch. Defense, A. Kentucky came into the game on a month-long interception drought, not having a pick before Saturday since the Eastern Michigan game way back in Week 5. Couple that multi-game streak with Vanderbilt quarterback Kyle Shurmur's 22-3 touchdown-to-interception ratio he was carrying into the game, and little was expected in the turnover department. And because things don't often make sense, Kentucky picked off Shurmur 4 times, 3 times in the first half. That's right, Shurmur threw as many picks in the first half against Kentucky as he had all season. Denzel Ware, Derek Beatty, Mike Edwards and Jordan Griffin were the culprits. Kentucky won the turnover battle, 4-1. The Cats were opportunistic with the Commodores' mistakes, and Kentucky found itself in Vanderbilt's backfield for much of the night. Ware had 2 sacks and Buddy Watson, Josh Paschal and T.J. Carter had 1 apiece. Factor in the yardage lost by sacks and Vanderbilt rushed for just 60 yards. I thought Matt House did a nice job early in the game, Stoops said. We had some nice pressures and some zone blitzes. Had some nice change oops that created some sacks and some negative yardage plays. It was big. Shurmur did complete 30 of 43 passes for 308 yards, but Kentucky's pass defense showed significant signs of progress. Kentucky's secondary, which was questioned all week leading up to the game, might have turned in its performance of the season. They have great pride in what they do and don't want to let the team down, Stoops said of the secondary. They want to play well, and they did that. Special teams, A+. How could you not give Kentucky's special teams a perfect mark? Miles Butler made for a great story. The coaching staff said Grant McInnes would fill in for the suspended Matt Panton at punter, but instead it was the backup kicker who took on punting duties. All 3 of Butler's punts pinged Vanderbilt inside its 20-yard line. He averaged 39 yards per punt. He'll do anything you ask him to do, Stoops said of Butler. I was proud of him. It was great for him to get in there and do so well. Austin McGinnis also had things working in the kicking game. He was a perfect 3-for-3 with field goals of 39, 40 and 42 yards. The special teams highlight came from Lynn Bowden. The freshman receiver hasn't always looked comfortable returning kicks, but he looked pretty special on a 93-yard return late in the third quarter. It looked like Bowden would find the end zone for the first time in his career, but he came up 6 yards short. Snell ran in for the score on the next play. "Lynn's a player, as you can see," Stoops said.